Hey, hey, we're recording. Here we go. So thank you to everybody who has joined the party. And like I said, Mary, my daughter, is the co-host. So as we go along, there may be some chats. If you want to chat and ask a question, she's going to write that down for me so that maybe I can answer it another time. And when I remember to record, each Zoom party will be on my YouTube channel, which is the Naomi Butler Show. If you haven't gone to the YouTube channel, go and subscribe, watch last week's Zoom party, and there's other good videos on there in different topics. And last week was talking about making baby steps every day towards your goals and even more. Now, mark your calendars for February 2nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is the next Zoom party. And I will also have more information at the end of today's party for the next Zoom party. Before I get started, I just want to let everybody know, and I think a lot of you already know this, but I'm looking for more females to help us part-time at the shows. And that is mainly my Dallas Bridal Show coming up next weekend, which is January 29 and 30. So if you know of anybody who wants to make a little extra money, email me and let me know. Everything that I discuss at my Zoom parties can apply to any business, every person in any industry. Hi, Terry, I saw you come on. And instead of my 4-hour workshops that I did for many, many years, this is a pivot to still add value for as many people as I can with shorter time frames. Instead of the 4 hours, we're trying to keep it 30 to 40 minutes, and I'll schedule as many as I can throughout the year. This is all to help you help build your business, build your self-confidence, and also help boost your income. I like to take notes. That's up to you if you want to take notes or not. But I also put in everything BYOW, bring your own water. And so I'm going to hold mine up. So everybody cheers. This is something my daughter gave me for Christmas. Isn't that cool? So cheers. Everybody needs to stay hydrated. It was not BYOW wine. It was BYOW for water. Okay. And I'm going to make a change from what I said last week. I'm not sure, guys, what's going on. Usually I see myself in here and I don't. So I don't know what I just did, but let me see here. I have no idea. I don't know if it's going to record me or not. Let me stop recording and start again, if y'all don't mind, because I don't know what it's doing. Cheryl, did I do something wrong if it's not showing me?
I don't know. You can go up to the speaker view.
Okay.
Up in the right-hand corner where it says view, and it gives you different options, and maybe something changed there.
I don't know. It still says speaker, so we'll.
No, but if you go to gallery view.
Okay. Gallery, got it.
And now everybody and you?
Yes, everybody and me. There we go. I like it. See, learn something new every day. All right. So what I said last week was a little bit different, and I'm going to rephrase it. I'm going to change it. I had said, if you attend every Zoom party for 6 months, you're entered into for a drawing to win a print of one of my paintings. So now I'm going to change that. I'm going to say attend at least 6 Zoom parties in 6 months to be entered into the drawing for a print of one of my paintings, and maybe even an original, who knows? So I just wanted to clarify and change that. All right, speaking of change, my business tip today is change is good. When I had the pleural biopsy surgery, which was from the cancer coming back in my left lung, I had to use one of those breathing exerciser things that help increase your lung capacity. And it's intended to push your limits to help you. So I'm going to talk to you about pushing the boundaries when you're dealing with change. And so when you think of that breathing instrument, think about inhaling courage, exhaling fear. And change is going to happen no matter what we do. It's just a given. It keeps us on our toes. We learn new skills, new ways to look at things. It also sometimes makes us be creative and learning new ideas, seeing how new opportunities might come about. It makes you really think and dig deep instead of staying in a rut. It can lead to many, many positives. And I've had lots of changes over the years. I could talk about those all day. So embrace and welcome change. And I'm going to give you some questions to think about so you can brainstorm with yourself and your team. What can you do different? How can you create a positive out of something that may appear negative? And sometimes a quick response is necessary, and sometimes you have more time. But measure your change capacity strength. What makes you adapt? Your purpose, your goals are going to change over time, even if that deeper goal stays. Last week, I told everybody, write down one goal and work on those baby steps. But think about those changes that happen along the way. What actions can you take to be ready for change, which will happen? And as you learn and grow, whether it's personal or especially in a business, there's going to be many times that you have to address changes. Get prepared for it. Stay in front of it instead of reacting to it. Just be ready for seeing new ways of doing business, of connecting to others, of training yourself and your team. So don't get comfortable. It's having that can-do mindset, no matter what change you're facing. And to get better at things, sometimes we have to study. And I'm one of those that I learned from the Hard Knocks University. I think all of us do. And we kind of have to learn on our own. But it's a good idea if we can learn from others and not make those same whatever mistakes or whatever cost us. So it's good to learn from others. You might learn what to do or what not to do. And I kind of call it learning university. And I'm in that all the time, whether it's my CE classes for my insurance license, whether it's researching this topic or that topic, or learning new technology, which is ongoing. And I know Sarah on here would be so proud of me that I'm at least open to learning, because I used to rely on my team. I was like, I don't know how to do this. Please do it for me. And I didn't try to learn it myself. So I'm now learning that. And COVID really put me in that position where I didn't have somebody in the office to help me anymore. Naomi had to kind of learn to do some of those things. And it's all good. It's all good. So our next topic is exhibiting tip. And I messed up last week. I could even say, okay, did y'all catch something? It was a test to see if you caught it, but I'm going to be honest, I really made a mistake. When I said, if I give you my brochure at a show, what do you know about me? That was wrong. I should have said, if I give you a brochure or a card or information about my business, what do I know about you? And then I talked about getting to know that person with some of those good questions to ask. So I made a mistake. Hey, all of us speakers do make mistakes. We're not perfect. It's that imperfect situation. So if you're ever thinking about speaking, just remember, Naomi made a mistake. It's okay to make mistakes when you speak. So there you go. We learn as we go along, right? Okay. If you tell them all about what you do and you don't ask those questions, then you're not going to get the results you want when you follow up with them. And we're talking about exhibiting in shows, but keep in mind, all these things really help everybody, no matter what business, what industry they're in. We do learn when we ask a question and we get an answer. Those things help us learn to help the next person. That conversation helps us with the next conversation. Those questions and answers continue to help us. And so what are the right questions to build rapport? And last week, I loved it when Russ said, tell me about you. And that can apply to every conversation. Tell me about you. Because remember, it's all about them. And I gave that example last week of the bride's panel when the bride said, the exhibitor whoever I was talking to told me all about what they could do for me and just talk, but they never once asked me what I wanted. So it's a good idea to kind of come up with some questions that help you, whether you're at a show, at a chamber meeting, you're on the phone with somebody, whatever. I'm going to just give you lots of questions, and it's to get you to think, to brainstorm with yourself, with your team, to come up with things that work specifically for you and what you're doing. Because at a show, you don't have a lot of time. When you're on a phone conversation, and many of you I've had long conversations with, sometimes we might talk about a lot of stuff, but when you're at a show, you don't have much time. As they walk by your booth, you've got 3 seconds for them to know what you do. It needs to be crystal clear what you do. If it's confusing, they're going to walk on by. And so if they do have an interest and they stop at your booth, you want to be prepared with 3 of your main qualifying questions. Again, it's not just saying all of what you're going to do. So think about having maybe 3 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes tops, of getting some answers that qualify them. These are not yes or no questions. These are open-ended that get them to really talk about themselves. And you're trying to get to know them as quick as you can without sounding like you're in a hurry, because they're in a hurry to get to the next booth, to check things out, and you want them to remember you out of the mix of sometimes hundreds of companies at a show. Asking the right questions can help. And again, I'm going to give you lots of ideas, but sit down with your team. If it's you by yourself, just write all questions down and then kind of compile it to come up with what is best. These are just going to be some I'm going to throw out, and think about it to apply it to you, what you're doing. What is the most important thing to you about your health? What's most important to you about your health, about your wellness? What's the most important thing you want your photographer to do for you at your wedding? What's the most important thing you want someone to remember about your wedding? What's your main goal with your health, with your decor, whatever applies to your business? What are your thoughts about? Instead of photographer, whatever, add your own category. One of the wedding planners at my workshops told me years ago, when they asked the bride what was most important to her, the bride said, I want my grandmas to be the flower girls. And we all just wanted to cry. That was one of those emotional things, but they wouldn't have known this if they hadn't asked those questions. So we sometimes find things that can help direct us to another place of connecting with them once we find that out. Can you imagine when you ask a bride and you ask her what is most important, and she says, I want my grandmas to be my flower girls? Can you just imagine the emotion that was felt at that moment? So we're trying to connect with them, yes, with emotional things that come out in those conversations. You find out more and more about them, but it just helps you to start that process of building rapport, showing you care about them and what they want. And let's say you're in the home improvement industry, because I used to have my home show, and I know hundreds of companies in that industry. And that's when Sheryl and I had met, because she was with the radio station. So you could even say, what's the most important thing you want someone to notice with the remodeling that you're having done? Again, I'm just throwing questions out, and you can come up with your own. These are not all of the questions, but those are just some that get you started thinking. Those are examples to help you to come up with your own in qualifying them for what you do. This is not a pitch. It's you being real, caring about them, what they want, what their ultimate goal is. And that can change after you've learned what they want. You can ask, would you be open to a suggestion that we could do to help with that? And what if they don't know what they want? You can ask, what do you not want? That might get you some other information. And Bill, I'm going to mute you. And I don't know if it worked. If everybody can mute themselves, that'd be awesome. I'm going to tell you to practice different scenarios with yourself, with your team. and think about all the what ifs. What if I ask this question and I get this answer? Then what other question can I ask to help find out more about them? And when you're thinking about practicing, you might even record yourself to ask questions with your team. Think about all those what ifs that they might say or they might ask. Come up with every question that you can think of to help qualify them. Something that I wrote down in my workshop, and I cannot remember who said it, but I'm going to share it with you. Amateurs practice till they get it right. Professionals practice till they can't get it wrong. So it's practicing these questions, learning how to just let them roll off your tongue so that they know you care about them. And all of this might give you an idea of some suggestions and options to help come up with the direction they're going. And for years now, we've seen Pinterest give millions of ideas to everyone about anything and everything. And sometimes too many ideas can cause confusion. So those are just some exhibiting tips about asking the right questions. And again, this can apply to every business. And I'll talk about the lead slips a little bit more in our next Zoom party, which is February 2nd, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Texas time, which is Central Standard Time. And we're going to talk about how to make the best use of those. And I think Kimberly and I had a conversation this last week where we were talking about some things because she's getting ready for our Dallas Bridal Show. And she had another show that she had leads from, and we were discussing some of those things. And of course, Kimberly, I'm sorry we didn't get a whole lot of time that day, but hopefully that helped. Hi, Kim. Love it also. And I'm just trying to see Tracy's on here, Reggie and Sanaa. Trying to say hi to everybody as you come on, so I may miss you. Sorry about that. So one thing I want you to think about before February 2nd, which is your lead slips and working your leads, all of these things will tie into each other. Go to YouTube and watch my song. It is called Working Your Leads. And if you search Working Your Leads song by Naomi, I think it will pop up and you'll see a big fat kitty cat laying on its back with chips and I think a beer or something. I'm not sure what it is. It's just corny. The melody and the words came to me one time when I was headed to speak to a group, and it was getting dark and I had my notepad under the steering wheel, and all of a sudden the words and the melody just came to me. So I was writing it down, and then Ruthie's daughter, Abby, she's a music teacher, so she helped me with getting all that together. I'm not a singer. Okay. Just know that when you hear it, it's corny, but it has a good message. And before I talk to you about earning additional income and building your own business using the network marketing model, I'm going to share something with you that will tie into my Trujivan business that I'm building. This topic keeps coming up the news every day, and we cannot get away from 5G and EMFs. 5G is the 5th generation technology standard for broadband cellular networks. And from what I understand, I've read that 5G is at least 16 times faster than 4G, and something else said 100 times faster than 4G. EMFs are electromagnetic fields, and all of this provides the connectivity to most current cell phones. No matter how much faster 5G is, it's a good idea to learn what you can about this subject and work on protecting yourself as much as you can. We're not going to throw away our phones, but they do emit EMFs. And the topic I'm going to talk about is 5G in the airlines. And you've probably heard it in the news. And AT&T and Verizon have been trying to get the airlines to be okay with the 5G rollout near the airports. And the airlines are trying to keep them at least 2 miles from the airports. And it looks like 5G is already being rolled out at some, while others are trying to get it delayed. It was supposed to roll out yesterday at most, if not all, airports. And I saw this from an AT&T spokesperson. At our sole discretion, we have voluntarily agreed to temporarily defer turning on a limited number of towers around certain airport runways. We're launching our advanced 5G services everywhere else as planned. The problem itself surrounds radar altimeters that operate on similar frequencies as 5G towers. For fixed wing aircrews, interference can occur during the most sensitive portions of flight, takeoff and landing. The radar altimeter systems are tied into so many other aspects of a modern aircraft's integrated avionics suite that key safety features, including the ability to land in low visibility conditions, could be severely degraded or disabled altogether as a precaution. There's a safety issue here clearly, but also one that has the potential to cause massive disruptions in the flow of people and commerce across America's airways. Why am I telling you this? This is real. There is information about 5G affecting the trees near 5G towers going up, confusing the bees, which affects our plants and our food. Check it out yourself. And my Trujivan business has a breakthrough product that can help protect you regarding the EMFs, which are electromagnetic fields, with your phones and other devices. It doesn't block the EMFs. In your own iPhone, you can go to settings, then general, legal and regulatory, and then RF exposure. The fourth paragraph down gives you a subtle warning about the radio frequency exposure in your own cell phone. This holographic disc right here is breakthrough technology. It does not block the EMFs. It has to do with frequencies in our bodies. And like I said, it doesn't block them, but what it does, it fortifies our body's natural resistance to the harmful effects of EMFs. And the allowable amounts of EMFs were based in the 1990s using a large man. He was 6'2", 220 pounds, big head, that used his phone 6 minutes a day. And that has not changed since the 90s. And of course, our children's skulls are thinner. They're more susceptible to the harmful effects of EMFs. You're going to start hearing more and more about 5G and EMFs as time goes on. And just like many years ago, everyone started learning more and more about the dangers of smoking until the tobacco manufacturers and industry finally had to come out and state for sure smoking causes lung cancer, heart disease, etc. And EMFs are the cigarettes of our new generation. If you're interested in the TruEMF Defense product for you and your family, just let me know. I can send you information. It is one product with my new global business that I'm building, which is called Trujivan, and it means live your best life. What does good health look like to you? What does feeling good, having more energy and better sleep mean to you? I'm sharing the gift of wellness with you. And that's why I was transparent when I sent everything out, that I wanted to talk to you about this, because some people may have energy issues or sleep issues. And I had mentioned last week how the TruEnergy has changed my world. I was fighting fatigue for 3 years after all the treatments, and TruEnergy gave me back, and True Rest has helped me also. So I feel like I have a superpower now, and it's not like a spike of energy like a Red Bull, but it's stamina all day. And so it's awesome to have products that really work and that can help everyone. And these are holographic discs. They have no drugs or chemicals. They're good for all ages, and they do not interfere with any meds that you're taking. So email me if you have an interest. And also, if you want to build your own business, just know, take 2 to 5 years to really build the momentum. And there's something for everyone, because everyone has a cell phone and other devices. And as Zig Ziglar has said, this is a Zigism. He was my Sunday school teacher. And this says, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. That philosophy works with all of us in everything we do. Okay, I'm going to hush for a little bit, and I'm going to introduce our special guest speaker, Sheryl Powers, who, like I said, we go back. when you said 30 years in the radio industry, I was thinking it was the very first home show in 1990. So I wasn't sure. So we've known each other at least 30 years. And she has had 30 years of DFW radio. She's now an entrepreneur advocate. She specializes in keeping employees working through a unique suite of non-insurance benefits. And Sheryl will be speaking about creating business connections through LinkedIn. So Sheryl, take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Naomi, what an honor. I mean, you know, it's an honor to be your friend for such a long time. Early 90s people, we were 12. And so, and to still be friends at this point, I mean, that really is, that's the blessing of life, right?
Yes.
So, and I am Sheryl Powers as in Austin, as you can see, at least at the bottom of my screen. So I want to make sure everybody, I don't want to assume you know where the chat is. Does everybody know where the chat is? So you can go down, if you take your little cursor and you go down to the bottom, and you get the little pop-up toolbar there at the bottom, and it's got the little chat tool. Tap on that because you're going to see my LinkedIn profile, my little LinkedIn link, and you can tap that and let's all connect on LinkedIn. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I'm going to ask you to engage a little there real quick. All right. Who actively uses LinkedIn to build their business or create new relationships? Yes or no? So go into the chat and put a yes or a no. Right. So have you actively been using LinkedIn to grow your business and or your professional relationships? Because it helps me to understand kind of where everybody's coming from when I see this. I love little chat tools because we do so many networking events through Zoom, and then you can download these chats too. I can share that with you if you need to know. So I see no, not as much as I could, no, use it, but not really. So it does sound like most people here on this particular Zoom don't use LinkedIn. I'll tell you, I've always had a profile there, right? So most people have a Facebook profile, right? So Facebook is primarily for, at least in my opinion, this is my opinion, personal, great if it's B2C, right? You're working B2C. But when you want to grow your business, you want to grow other professional relationships and partnerships, there's just nothing like LinkedIn. And it really, the thing I like about LinkedIn is that it removes kind of that personal component. So that you're just talking business, right? You're just helping each other grow. And that's really awesome. And so while I'm talking, did you do the share screen?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Down here at the bottom. So
do I hit share?
Yeah. So it's Naomi.
There we go.
Okay. Sharing the screen and second. Oh, host disabled participant. I think you shared your screen, but I think you're going to do multiple participants.
Okay.
Go back down to share screen.
And click new share.
Or if you unshare your screen, go down to share screen.
Okay.
Then go back down there and tap on it. And when we did the little trial, it was multiple participants can share their screen.
All right. So let me do that. Multiple.
Yeah, and then that should allow me. Yeah, there we go. There
you got it?
Yes, yes. So I'm going to share my desktop real quick. But what I found about LinkedIn was that pre-COVID, it was just kind of there, right? Into COVID, we're all like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can't see people. I can't touch them. I can't hug them. I can't go to networking groups and glad hand. So let me get I'm going to go to the PowerPoint first. All right. So can you all see the using LinkedIn to build your business? Just give me a nod. Yes. Or okay, thumbs up. All right, good. So I'm not going to scroll through these one by one. You can see them all there, and you can take a screenshot if you'd like. But these are just some of the things that I've learned through the past 2 years as COVID hit, and I had to figure out how to build my business along with all of us, right? We're all on this journey together. And so with that, here are just a couple of the top things that I have identified. And a business partner of mine and I actually now do LinkedIn roundtables so that we all can sit together and talk about how we're using LinkedIn, and then let's talk about tips. And so these are some of these are pulled from that. So first is make sure it's a professional profile picture. I don't know if you can, so if I do my screen share, that's all right. When you go to my LinkedIn profile, you'll see that I've got a green shirt. Hopefully that's the girl you see. I had somebody actually take that picture. It shouldn't be your high school yearbook picture. You know, you can do that fun stuff on Facebook. LinkedIn's very different. The other thing is you've got a banner there that it's next to your name. I have a girlfriend, she loves to do Medicare, right? And she just has a heart for the elderly. And so everything was like hearts and flowers, but it wasn't professional. And so when she changed her banner, it kind of changed her business life. So when people go to your LinkedIn profile, they're going there to kind of interview you, right? So they want to see, hey, are they really in business? And obviously you all are entrepreneurs. I know some of you are B2C. I'm not necessarily B2B, but it doesn't matter. It's really good to have at least an updated profile. Super easy to manage and maintain. So thirdly, service descriptions should be comprehensive. So you can see in my LinkedIn picture, if you're there now, or if you want to go through my profile at some point, make sure that you have a good description of what you do, because again, you're going to have about 5 seconds. Just like going through, you could equate it to going through a bridal show, right? People are walking through, they're walking by booths, and you've got just a finite amount of time to really stand out. The same thing applies here. So make sure it's really concise. It says exactly what you do, and it's not weird. So try not to be weird. Number 4, complete list of occupations. So some people, they want to leave stuff out. I mean, certainly if you waited tables or whatever, kind of, you know, doing Uber or whatever, that's not necessarily applicable, but make sure it's really comprehensive, that you've got at least 3 to 5 businesses there, because people want to know that you're real and they want to know what you've been doing, especially if they're going to partner with you on something or refer you. So this is where I find LinkedIn is beautiful for B2B and B2C. So if you're business to consumer, people want to refer you, but they want to know that they can count on you, right? And so that's where this professional profile works. Number 6, recommend others and ask for recommendations. That's, again, a great referral source. So instead of cold calling, right? Man, you're using the bridal shows to leverage yourself, right? So use LinkedIn the same way so that you don't have to cold call, do this kind of stuff. Now you can go to your friends, you can see who they have, and you can say, hey, would you refer me to this person? Or would you recommend me? These are great uses of LinkedIn. Number 7, follow organizations in your industry. That's it, you know, get involved in the wedding planners associations and all of that on LinkedIn as well. And I know you're probably a part of that on the other social media sites. But LinkedIn's just a great place to then start expanding, tapping into their Zoom calls and learning and expanding your environment. Don't just like posts, love them and comment, just like on Facebook, right? The algorithms will boost you up. That was one of the little tips I learned last year, and that changed. I bet I doubled my number of connections. So I've got 2,947 or something. And it about doubled in that over that COVID time because of this, right? Just a little bit of engagement goes a long way. Number 9, tag others on your comments. So again, like Facebook, you say, hey, Sally Sue, oh my gosh, this is so funny. You need to take a look at this post. The same applies in the business world too, right? So LinkedIn's looking for that engagement tool. Number 10, keep it professional. You know, there are times that I post pictures of a cat, but it will typically have some kind of a, Naomi, you're beautiful with this. You can take all of those everyday life things, and there's always some kind of professional component to it. And so, you know, my 19-year-old cat, I posted, and it was something about, she just reminded me of what it's like to have grace even at an old age. You know, so just because they're old doesn't mean we don't have to be graceful, even if we do have dreadlocks. So, which she does, you know, she's a little dreadlocky. So, and then number 11, I wanted to extend this to you all. It just so happened that when Naomi said, hey, Sheryl, do you have something you could talk to our group about? And I'm like, oh my gosh, LinkedIn. Because I love helping people through LinkedIn. I don't make any money on LinkedIn. I have a totally different business, as we talked about, but the LinkedIn Roundtable is what I do with a business partner of mine, Rob Bliss. We do it at his office, and you guys are welcome to attend. It's open, but you do have to RSVP. So we network at the beginning, we network at the end. This is B2B and B2C mix, right? So it's not specific to B2B. And it will be next Tuesday, 4:30 till 6, free. So you can take your phone, like right now, if you're on your laptop, you can pick up your phone and open your camera, and that QR code will take you to the link. Or you can write this down. And I'll put it in the chat if you want. tinyurl.com/LIRT as in table 012522. You want me to repeat that, or you got it? And I'll put it in the chat so that you can just go right to the link. But we'd love to have you. We'll cap out at about 30 to 35. But it's a great way to meet other professionals. And Rob will actually do, he's such a giver. He will do free LinkedIn photos for you. So his office is upstairs in that building. So we're down in the conference room, and yeah, he'll do free LinkedIn photos, and his team will actually put together a free banner ad if you'd like as well. So he's got a marketing firm and a couple of other firms. So a good person to know, but that's it. So that's my giving for the day, right? Get on LinkedIn, freshen up your profile. I'll help connect you. I'm an Uber connector. And so help you start making friends and establishing your footprint there as well, right? Because you probably already mastered the Facebook and Instagram. So was this helpful?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute myself for just a second. I'm going to take 30 seconds. I'll be right back. But if anybody has any questions for Sheryl, put them in the chat. And so just a little bit of Q&A if anybody has that, but I'm going to be right back if you don't mind. And how do I unshare?
I'll stop sharing here in just a sec. Since you're going, I'll show you. This is what you're going to see on my my profile here, right? So and I don't know if I can scroll on down, but just a good clean, and I had to work on it because mine wasn't very nice last year. So just know, right? And I'm again here to help you. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then we'll get back to this, and I'm going to put in the chat.
All right, and I'm going to mute myself for about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. And then y'all, if you have any questions for Sheryl, ask, but I'll be right back. Okay.
Questions? I was that thorough. I must have been really, really good. The other thing I do like about LinkedIn is that life's very nutty. People are kind of weird in today's world, especially if you don't know them, right? And they get to be a part of your Facebook group, and then all of a sudden you find this weird stuff happening. I do find that LinkedIn does not have that. So that is one of the reasons that maybe I escaped there because of that. But there's value to all of them, all of those sites. Here, I'm typing this in while I'm talking. I just happen to be a fan of LinkedIn for building business.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. So there is the LinkedIn Roundtable link. And I know a couple of you have already reached out to me. Awesome. Let's do it. If you see anybody that I'm connected with and you say, hey, I see that you're connected with this person, can you make an introduction? Absolutely. So I'll message you both through LinkedIn together, and I'll let you guys start your conversation. So let's make some money.
Thank you so much, Sheryl. You're so sweet to give us some good free wisdom. And LinkedIn is one of those many, many places that if you have a business, it's hard to keep up with all of them. I know years ago, I was like, no, I don't have time for that. And then I would add one and then add another. My grandson told me with my art, Grandma, you got to get on Instagram. So again, I didn't know anything about technology. So I got on there myself, and the Facebook, of course, was one of those. And then I added LinkedIn, and then I started my YouTube channel. So it's like we kind of have to be out there in as many ways as we can, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot to take care of. It's timely. And so if you start with one and then build to add the second, third, fourth, it gets easier. It really does.
Yeah, okay. There is a site that is called, I might have to look it up and you can ping me later, but there's a site that actually populate one and it will populate all of them.
Oh,
so you don't have to keep posting and reposting because that's so annoying. Oh, Instagram, oh, TikTok, oh, you know what I mean? So it'll take all of those and populate at one time, that one post into all of them.
I need to learn that because I take this one from Facebook and I copy and paste and put it in LinkedIn. But of course, LinkedIn won't allow as many characters. So I have to go in and reduce it, and Instagram's the same way. So Facebook, I can put pretty much everything, but they're all different, but I need to learn that. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to have our little fun communications exercise. And does everybody have a piece of paper? I don't care what color, really what size. It needs to really be 8.5 by 11 if you can. And there's going to be a reason for that. So does everybody have 8.5 by 11 piece of paper? All right, I'm going to assume you do. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to be the best at communicating with you, and we're going to see how good a communicator I am and how good a listener you are. So we're going to see if we end up with the same look. All right, you ready? All right, take your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and you're going to take the short side, the 8.5 side, and fold it. You're not going to show it on the screen. We're just going to do it when we get at the end, and we'll look at what we all did. So you're going to take that 8.5 side, fold it over to the other 8.5 side, and that way you've split your paper in half, but you folded 8.5 to 8.5. Now that's the first step. I hope I communicated that clearly. Don't show anything yet. Okay. Now what we're going to do is on the folded edge, which is also 8.5 by or 8.5 inches. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to let's just start in the middle. We're going to tear a piece in the middle from the very middle going down about 1/2 inch. So when you tear it down 1/2 inch, you're going to go straight down on that edge, that folded edge, and you're going to take it at the top and you're going to tear down 1/2 inch-ish. Okay. And you're just going straight down. And then to the left of that cut, go over about 1/2 inch and take that spot and tear towards the bottom portion of the cut area that you just made. So you're going to take that 1/4 inch to the left of what you just tore and tear it down to where it meets the bottom of the tear. So you're going to look like you got a half moon or whatever it's called there. And then go to the right of the center of that first cut and tear down towards the middle bottom area of what you first tore down to. See, we're going to see how good a communicator I am. So when you get this done, it looks like you've got 1/2 of a circle cut out completely. And if you have little snippets of pieces of paper, just tear them out. So it should look like you have a 1/2 circle on that side that you had folded. Now, take the 4 1/4 inch side, fold it over to the other 4 1/4 inch side, completely all the way over. So now you've got nearly 1/4 of your paper folded. Okay. Now I'm not going to show you anything. And when you do that, take your folded side at the top of, let me see how we do this. We've got, all right, that was 8.5. So that's 4 1/4. So on the 4 1/4 inch side, you've got 2 folds that connect. On the non-torn side, you've got those 2 corners that are squared off. So now you're going to take 1/4 inch from those squared corners, take 1/4 inch and tear it straight down for about, let's say, an inch, and then tear it straight across to the edge so it makes a not a square, but more of a rectangle shape that you cut out. Oh, this makes sense. We're seeing how good a communicator I am, okay? So that looks like an L shape that's been cut out. And then let's just stop. Let's just see what we did. All right, here's what I have. Open it up. And this is what I have. Does y'all's look the same? I want to know if everybody's looks the same. Hey, that's close. Okay, everybody might have something different. So what it shows is if someone is communicating properly, then the other person will understand properly. So it is a good idea to learn how to communicate, because sometimes we just say something and we might forget the little steps to clarify or finish what we're trying to say, and we want to make it clear. So when we're talking to someone, we want to be clear about what we're saying and not be vague, because you might not end up on the same page. It's kind of like you've heard the phrase, if you tell someone something secretly and they tell the next person secretly, if you're in a line of 10 people, by the time you get to the 10th person, they're saying something totally different than what the first person had said. So it's all about communicating clearly. And so last week's communication exercise was about being a speaker without being a speaker and getting rid of those filler words. Today was more about speaking more clearly when we communicate. And then I wanted to tell you, Marla Watson, who's been in our event industry, she's also been in the film and television industry. She will be our speaker for the February 2nd Zoom party. And she has a lot more going on too. But I asked her, I said, what topic do you want to talk about that could help every business and every person? She said, communication. I was like, that is so awesome. That fits right in with what I'm talking about and with these little exercises that we've been doing that are fun. So I just wanted to let you know about the February 2nd meeting. We are going to close, and if you have questions, then email me, text me. I had people who had sent me questions, and I know I will try to get back with everybody as quick as I can. We have a show next week, and I have a lot to do to get more part-timers. So just bear with me if I don't get back to you immediately, but I'm loving our Zoom parties, whether it's 2 people or 30 people or however many we get to, it will build over time, just like my workshops did. And it's not all about exhibiting, but that is part of it. So I hope you enjoyed today. I want to thank you all for joining me. I just wish I could give you all a hug, and I will see you at the next Zoom party on February 2nd. Thank you all so much. Sending lots and lots of love. Love you, love you. See you later. You can unmute and say hi, bye, whatever.
All right, bye. Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Love you,
Appreciate it.
Naomi.
Love
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Bye, Naomi.
Y'all have a good rest of the week.
Love you, Mom.
You too.
Love you, sweetie.
Bye, Mary. Bye, Naomi.
Bye, Terry.
Bye. It was wonderful. I loved it. We're not having
Thank
a meet
you.
next week.
It's not next week because I've got the show, so I cannot
that's
add
right.
it in
That's
next
right.
week.
That's
So
right. Okay.
February 2nd.
Super, super. I came in late and then I dropped it 3 times. Oh,
That's okay, Terry.
a nutcase. And then my phone went dead. Oh,
I hate it when that happens.
My
You
whole
gotta keep it
family's,
charged.
my whole family's in quarantine.
Oh, no.
yeah.
Oh,
They were
no.
exposed and don't know if they have it or not. So I'm delivering food to the front doorstep.